He was a conqueror, a military genius, a crowned emperor. But what if I told you Napoleon Bonaparte may not have died from illness? What if his death was murder? In 1815, after a decade of conquering Europe and terrifying monarchs, Napoleon Bonaparte was finally defeated at the Battle of Waterloo. Captured by the British, he was exiled to a remote, God-forsaken island called St. Helena, over 1,200 miles from the African coast. He would never return. He would never escape. But what truly happened during those final years of exile? History books tell us Napoleon died of stomach cancer in 1821, but not everyone buys that story, and for good reason. Let's go back to who he was. Born in Corsica in 1769, Napoleon rose fast, very fast. By age 30 he was first consul of France. By 35, emperor. He rewrote France's laws, crushed the Austrian and Russian armies, and crowned himself. A man like that doesn't go quietly. His genius was unmatched, but so were his enemies. Monarchs, nobles, and former allies turned on him. And after his final defeat, Britain made sure he'd never be a threat again. At St. Helena, Napoleon lived in Longwood House, a moldy, wind-battered home surrounded by guards. He wrote memoirs, dictated letters, complained of illness, and slowly, painfully, he faded. Official cause of death, stomach cancer. But when his body was exhumed decades later, it was found perfectly preserved, suspiciously so. That preservation, it pointed to something else, something deadly, arsenic poisoning. In the 1960s, scientists ran hair tests on Napoleon's remains. The results, sky-high levels of arsenic, way above what's natural. How did it get there? One theory, Napoleon was slowly poisoned over years by someone close to him. Maybe a servant, maybe an agent of the British, maybe even a French royalist. But why? Why not just let him rot on that island? Because dead men can't come back. But exiled emperors, they inspire revolutions. The poison wallpaper theory emerged. Some claimed arsenic was in the dyes of Longwood's walls, but experts argue that amount would not explain the consistent, intense levels in his hair. Some believe Charles Tristan de Montholon, one of Napoleon's closest men in exile, was the true traitor. Montholon stood to gain a lot from Napoleon's death, and he always had access. In the end, we may never know who did it, or even if it was murder, but the evidence remains chilling. A military titan reduced to a ghost, possibly silenced by those he trusted. They feared his return. They feared his legend. So they ensured history would remember his defeat, not his revenge. Napoleon's body lies in Paris now, revered, worshipped, still powerful. But his darkest chapter, it's still unfolding, because the truth about his death may be history's greatest cover-up. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe for more untold truths and shadowy stories from history, and let us know in the comments, do you think Napoleon was murdered?